Here we're going to have a look at the controls on the body that you need to set before the shoot. The first one we're going to look at is ISO, International Standards Organisation. It determines how sensitive the chip in the camera is, so that when you're shooting in dark environments, you can increase the ISO so that you still have enough light. The trade-off to this is that the higher the number you go, the more noise you're going to get in your image. So if you're shooting on 1600, you're going to have a lot of red, green, blue pixels in the shadows of your image. It's going to have trouble trying to render the detail in the dark areas. If you're shooting on a nice, bright, sunny day outdoors, it's always best to shoot on 100 ISO. This gives you the most amount of quality. Now, most cameras do have shortcuts. Here I'm using the menu to get into the ISO. But we can just hold down this button at the back, look at the top of the camera, and turn this dial to change the ISO. So the next thing we need to think about is the white balance. So we can go into the menu, but there's also a nice shortcut here with WB on the back. And then it will indicate what white balance I'm on, and I can change it by turning the dial. So A stands for automatic. You then have an option of incandescent, which is like a warm desk light. We have a fluoro setting, a sunlight setting, a flash setting, a cloudy day, under an awning, and the very last one is a Kelvin rating. Kelvin is the measurement for the temperature of light. And depending on the temperature of the light, it will give off different colours in your shot. But if you want neutral colour, then you can set the exact Kelvin if you know the temperature of the lighting. Or there's a custom white balance where you can place a white card in front of the camera and actually measure the colour of the light from the scene. This is good when you've got multiple light sources that can't be avoided. Usually it's better just to shoot in the one light source and set the camera to the appropriate white balance. The next thing that we're going to have a look at is what file format you shoot in. This is really, really important, because if you don't set the right quality to start with, you can't get it back later. So here we have a quality button, or it's also called image size, in your image menu. If I hold that quality button down, and once again turn my dial, then over in the left-hand corner here, we're looking for RAW. RAW is a file format which is untouched and gives you the most megapixels from the camera. This particular camera also shoots in JPEG and allows me to choose to shoot two file formats at once. So a RAW format and a JPEG. This is because RAW files are big and they also don't open in every program. So it means you can have a look through all your JPEGs to pick the best shots and then only open those in the RAW format. It's important not to shoot in JPEG as your master, because it is a compressed format, which means quality has been taken away. It usually processes the image as well, increases contrast, changes colours, whereas RAW allows you to control it. So that's looking at your image quality. It does also allow you to choose how much compression you want on your JPEG image. If you're only shooting for a web format or screen delivery, you won't want to shoot in RAW, because that's going to take extra time in processing that you might never need. But if you wish to print your files, then the more quality you have, the better final results you'll achieve.